What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Matty V. This is Matty Cars. I figured since we've had this long-term test review vehicle, this Tesla Model Y long range, for over 10,000 miles now, that I'd give you a quick update and share with you the 5 things that I wish were different about this car. Starting out with number 5, in order from least annoying to most annoying. The number 5 most annoying thing that I wish was different about this car was the range. So the indicated range says 227 miles and 72% of battery. That number lies. That 227, there's no way you're gonna get 227 miles, okay? So that's not that big of a deal. If you're just using the car around town, you're charging it every night, it really doesn't matter, because you get home, charge it, you wake up, you got a full tank, full battery, and you can go easily 150, 180, 200 miles, no problem. But if you really do need to go 227 miles, you're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen.
You had one job.
There's a lot of factors that go into the range you get in an EV car. Like, look, today is a very cold day. It's 26 degrees. And I know that will impact the range, but it doesn't actually calculate that into that number. That number seems to be just baked in, no matter what the environmentals are.
Including its turbo top!
I wish this number somehow could be more accurate. I don't know how, I'm asking for a miracle, but I wish it was. The number 4 thing that I wish was different about this car has to do with road tripping. On the road trip that I took with my cousin to Canada, we encountered what's called the Mirage Issue. Well, that's what we call it, the Mirage Issue. And this is a good example right here. See, I'm in autopilot. We're coming up and over these hills. Just like the human eye, when you come up over some hills in some situations, it looks like there's a mirage, like there's water on the road. The car will slam on the brakes. So we'd be driving down the freeway 70, 80 miles an hour and come up over a ridge, and the autopilot system would see a mirage and slam on the brakes, which is very dangerous, because if there's cars behind us, they would not know why you're slamming on your brakes. It'd be very dangerous to slam on the brakes 80 miles an hour on the freeways. We only encountered it on roads that are lighter colored. So in Idaho, in Montana, but it happened 20, 25 times. It's very frustrating and very disconcerting. And the 4th thing that I wish was different about this car. Okay, setting off in the Tesla. Whee! Oh, that's so fun. There's so much to love about this car, but today we're talking about the 5 things I wish were different about this car. So number 3 has to do with the audio stealing. So what happens with audio stealing is this car tries to be too smart sometimes. So you have an audio system where it's integrated with your phone. And if I'm listening to music on my phone and then I get in the car, it's gonna transfer that music to the audio system here, which is pretty cool, right? But the thing that's frustrating about it, and the thing I wish was different, was that happens no matter what door you open. So if I'm listening to music on my phone, or like a podcast or an audiobook on my phone, let's say at home, I'm in the garage, and I come out, I gotta get something out of the car, right? So I come out into the garage, I open that door. I'm not going to drive the car, but I open that door to get maybe my jacket or whatever. Well, Tesla will transfer the music into the car. And then when I close the car door, it doesn't transfer it back to my phone automatically. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, I have to get my phone out of my pocket, restart the book or the podcast on my phone. So the one thing that I would suggest is make that an option. So let's say you open a car door, you listen to music, just have something on screen that says, do you want to transfer to the car? And then you can hit yes. Don't do it automatically. So the automatic audio stealing is the 3rd thing I wish was different about this car. The number 2 thing I wish was different about this car has to do with the noises coming out of the back. I don't know if you can hear it right now. There's just rattles and creaks and little noises.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Primarily coming out of the tailgate back there. And I actually had Tesla service come out because it was worse. And turns out what's happening is the tailgate is not shutting tight enough. So there's a seal around the opening of the tailgate, and the tailgate, because the body's flexing and rolling as you're driving, it's kind of shimmying. The tailgate's, it sounds like saran wrap, and someone's back there just like, and yeah, that's not that big of a deal. In fact, when I told that to some friends or even my daughter, they said, turn up the volume on your music. And that is true. If you turn up the volume on your music, you're not really gonna hear that issue. But I like sometimes to go on a nice drive, something that's beautiful, go up the canyon. I don't always want to be listening to my music loud. Sometimes I want to listen to classical music or Ludovico Einaudi or something beautiful. And I really wish that was different in this car. I could enjoy this car in a lot of different scenarios of driving where I don't need to be blasting my Red Hot Chili Peppers at level 9. Let's go. So the number one thing that I wish was different about this Tesla Model Y long range has to do with voice to text. Now this car does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and I understand why. It's so tightly integrated with the map and the range of the battery that there's no way they could have done that with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto.
Not with that attitude.
There's a couple of things here around voice to text that are really frustrating. Number one, you don't have any history of the text up here, okay? It only shows you text messages that happen after you start driving. So anything that's been sent to you before is not going to show up there. The other thing that's really frustrating about it, I've had actually many situations where I've accidentally sent the wrong text messages to the wrong people.
Oops.
Because there's no way to verify who I'm texting. The third thing that's really frustrating about voice to text is you cannot text to a group. So if you're involved in a lot of group texting like I am, you cannot even use voice to text at all to send to a group. What happens is if somebody from the group sends a message, it just pulls it out as an individual message from that one person, and Tesla has no idea that's part of a group. So then if you respond, you're just responding to that one person and not to the group. So the number one thing that I wish was different in this Tesla is I wish they allowed you to just log into iMessage, and that would be freaking awesome. And that's the number one thing I wish was different about this car, because that frustrates me every single time I drive this car. Okay, so those are the 5 things that I wish were different about this Tesla Model Y long range. All in all, I've been very pleased with this car. I've liked it way more than I thought I would. One little bonus thing I wish was different about this car, and it has to do with this roof. So it has this beautiful glass roof right here. But for us, the driver and the passenger, it doesn't really benefit us too much. I never really even noticed this roof is here. It's just when my mom gets in the back seat, she goes, "Oh, I love the roof. I can see everything, all the mountains. I love you, Mom." Yes, it's true. I wish there was some way this roof could open. I love sunroofs. I love panoramic sunroofs. I love convertibles. I love cars that open. So for me, I wish the roof would open. That would be awesome. Then driving in the canyon, get the beautiful mountain experience, and you don't have a rattly car, and you know how much range you have, and you can voice to text, and you don't have audio being stolen. All that stuff together would make this car so much better. Okay, so those are the 5 things that I wish were different about this car, plus one bonus. What do you guys think? Do you agree with these things? Are there things that I missed or other things you wish were different about this car? Some of you might say you wish this car never existed. I've got some friends of mine that might answer that question, and that's okay as well. As always, I really appreciate you guys taking this little drive with me and joining me on this video today on Matty Cars. If this is something that you enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing and sharing this. We're a brand new, young little channel just getting started, and all the support has been so great, and I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.